Hi, my name is Gizmo Castaneda. I'm here with Sam Ash Music from D'Addario, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to maintain your saxophone. So if you've recently purchased a saxophone or are considering buying one, this is an important step to learn in how to keep it looking new and always in the best condition. So you just bought a brand new saxophone or you're looking at buying one. What are you going to need to keep this in brand new condition? We're going to talk through every step of keeping the outside polished and, more importantly, the inside of your saxophone after you play it. After that, we're going to go through some of the accessories that we have, and I have them here today, to cover how to maintain your mouthpiece and even some other details of the saxophone. So what we're going to start with is probably the most important part. After playing your saxophone, you can imagine a good amount of spit actually builds into the saxophone, into the neck and through the body. Basically, when you blow into your mouthpiece, the saliva that comes out of your mouth will spread from the tip of the neck all the way down through the outside of the bell. And after you've been playing for some time, you'll even notice watermarks on the outside of the bell. This is a brand new saxophone, so there are none. But when you're playing, keep an eye for it, because that's the first sign that, yeah, you're playing correctly, but also that it needs a cleaning. Before you take your saxophone and polish it, you'll need to take it apart. So to take your saxophone apart, after you remove your mouthpiece, all you're going to do is remove your neck. Very gently. It's easy to bend these. If I push up from the tip, it could bend this tube and you'll have a dent and it won't be playable, and it's hard to fix. So what you want to do is make sure that you get a good grip onto the back of the saxophone, and when you pull up even with a twist, slight twist, to take the neck out. Comes out without any bends to the neck. That's important. Once you have your saxophone taken apart, now you can begin the process of cleaning the saxophone. To keep the saxophone shiny and new, you don't need much. Really, all it takes is a polishing cloth. We recommend the D'Addario microfiber polishing cloths. They tend to scratch the least amount, and they leave a shiny finish. So what I'll do is take the saxophone, place it on a flat surface, take my microfiber polish cloth, and remove any fingerprints. Another important step before you put your saxophone away. When you've been playing, the saliva that builds up into the saxophone needs to be cleaned out. It needs to be dry. The reason is because the saliva that builds up inside your saxophone will corrode your saxophone from inside out. What will happen is all of that spit that comes out of your mouth as you're playing drips down the inside of the saxophone. It can affect your pads, the leather, and the material on your pads can start to rip, tear, harden, and essentially cause leaks, what we call leaks in saxophone language. And that means that air, when you close a pad, is getting out from areas that it shouldn't. And it's going to make it a lot harder for you to play. So to keep your saxophone interior, the inside of your saxophone and the pads of your saxophone in brand new condition, you want to make sure that after you play, you dry out the inside of your saxophone. It means basically clean the inside. One of the tools that we'll be using to clean the inside of your saxophone is the Rico Pad Guard. So this interesting tool to clean with also stores inside of your saxophone, but the main thing we're going to do with this tool is we're going to clean the inside of your saxophone. So this tool is probably one of the easier tools to use to clean the inside of your saxophone. After you're done playing, what you want to do with this is take this what they're called pad savers, and it simply slides into the main body of your saxophone. You can twist it around, pull it out, and you want to check. If this pad guard comes out wet, you can shake it out or tap it on a surface, and you want to wick it. Make sure that there's no saliva on there and that it's dry. If it's really wet, do another pass. Twist them. Pull it out. You can do that At least 3 times is what we recommend to start, and then always wick it out. If the pad guard is dry, it's safe to put it back inside the saxophone, and it stores there. The beauty of the pad guard is it also has a neck protector. The neck protector sits in the top of the saxophone, and it protects this little button from being bent inside the case of your saxophone. So if you see that key, if I didn't have that in there, and I put this saxophone down in a case, if this gets hit, this key will bend, and then it'll have to be fixed. So again, another delicate piece, but with this pad guard, it simply pops in, protects the piece from being bent, and stays inside the saxophone. The next part, very important. The closer you get to your mouth, the more spit that's going to be in the instrument. So the neck, as you can imagine, will have a lot of spit. We have a similar product. This is the Alto Sax Neck Saver from Rico. This is very similar to the pad guard that you used on the body of your saxophone. What this will do is clean the inside of your neck. The neck saver will be used to dry out the inside of the neck, clean out any spit, and keep the inside of the neck from corroding. Since this is the piece that's the closest to your mouth, it's going to collect a lot of spit. You want to make sure that you do several passes with your neck saver. Pass it through the tip of the neck, twisting as you go through to the bottom. When it comes out the other end, you simply grab the end and pull through. Twisting again to make sure that you get any spit or dirt out of the inside of the neck. You want your neck to be clean, polished metal before you put it away, and more importantly, dry. With the neck saver, you can store it inside the neck. If your neck saver is dry, then you can store it inside the neck, and it will also protect it in the case from getting any damage. Before you can put your saxophone away, there's one more piece that you want to clean. As I mentioned before, the part that's the closest to your mouth is the piece that will get the most saliva, spit. This mouthpiece is no exception. So with Rico, we sell a pack for this saxophone that comes with a mouthpiece cleaner, a reed and reed guard, and cork grease. All essential pieces for the mouthpiece. You want to clean the spit out of this as well. Make sure that it's dry and clean throughout. This is one of the most important pieces that you can own for your saxophone. Be very delicate with it. Be careful not to chip any of the ends or the rails. And make sure that the inside of your mouthpiece is shining. You want it to be dried completely before you put this away. You can also store your mouthpiece saver in the mouthpiece as well. But again, make sure that it's dry before you put it in there. To protect your mouthpiece, we recommend that you use a mouthpiece patch. So a mouthpiece patch is a sticker that will go onto the part that you place your teeth on. So when you put your top teeth onto the mouthpiece, it will leave marks. So what you want to do is take a mouthpiece patch, which is a sticker that applies to the surface of the mouthpiece very easily. You'll replace these as your teeth wear through them. And there's options. They have different thicknesses. Some of them are thin, some of them are thicker. Use the one that you're the most comfortable with. But all you do is place this sticker onto the tip of the mouthpiece, and it'll help your mouthpiece last longer. Protects the teeth from grinding into the plastic and keeps the surface always level. As you invest in future mouthpieces, they'll be costly, and you'll want to make sure that they are maintained to perfection. This is a good step toward doing that. Another useful piece for your saxophone, which we highly recommend, is a reed guard. Before you can store your reeds away, it's important to make sure that you have something to protect it. The cane wood that makes up your reed is very fragile. It'll chip easily, and that will affect your ability to play. So to help your reeds last longer, we recommend that you purchase a reed guard. The reed guard will store your reed with the fragile tip inside, and it will protect it from getting damaged. Now, if I drop it, if I store this inside my case, the reed is safe. I'll be able to pull it out, play it when I need it. Very useful tool. Saxophone mouthpiece neck. This is one of the most important pieces you'll need for your saxophone. I don't even need to explain why. But one of the things you're going to notice when you buy a new saxophone or have a new cork on your neck of your saxophone is it's very difficult to put the mouthpiece onto the neck. Sometimes it doesn't fit, sometimes it doesn't go in enough, and there does take some twisting. One of the best ways to make that process easier is using cork grease. This very simple kind of chapstick grease will help your mouthpiece go on much easier. So where I was struggling to put a brand new mouthpiece on a brand new neck cork, this cork grease, if I apply it lightly around the entire cork, and once you apply it, similar to chapstick, apply it around the edge. Feel free to apply a lot of it if you feel like it needs it. But make sure that it goes all the way around the cork. The reason you're going to do that is because the cork can tear. And once the cork tears, there won't be anything to hold your mouthpiece onto the neck. So apply plenty of cork grease. Don't let your cork tear. If it does tear, have it replaced. But once it's on there, the mouthpiece will go on much easier. With some twisting to the right depth, your saxophone mouthpiece is ready to go. When you take it off, it's a good idea to clean the cork grease out of the inside of your mouthpiece. The reason for that is because when you put this back on, cork grease, if it's not cleaned, when you put the mouthpiece back onto the neck, the cork grease may travel to the inside of your mouthpiece and affect the way it plays. You want a clear passage for air to go through your mouthpiece at all times, so make sure you clean it. And if there's any excess cork grease on the outside of your mouthpiece, you can use a microfiber polish cloth, non-scratch material, as always, and wipe off any excess cork grease that comes out of the edge. Similar to the pad guard, to the Rico pad guard, which stores inside of your saxophone and cleans the inside of your saxophone, the Rico mouthpiece saver will wear out over time. You'll use it to clean the inside of your mouthpiece, taking out any spit and cork grease off the inside. After time, the material, once it gets hardened, it won't be as good of a cleaner and it won't dry as well. So you'll want to replace it. Once your mouthpiece is cleaned and dried, you can store it. So we recommend you store your mouthpiece in a mouthpiece cap to protect it from getting damaged. The mouthpiece cap is designed to protect the tip of your saxophone mouthpiece. It will protect it from any damage or getting chipped if it's dropped or hit. So always store your mouthpiece in a mouthpiece cap when you put it inside your case. We're now ready to store the saxophone inside its case where it will remain clean and like new. With your pad guard in place, including the neck protection, you can now place your saxophone body into the case. We recommend that you grab the saxophone by the bell to put it away. The reason is because we don't want you to grab onto any of the key mechanisms and squeeze it when you're putting it away. The easiest thing to do is simply get a good grip onto the bell, pick it up, and place it into its case. The case should have a proper molding form that fits it, like this one. And the saxophone shouldn't wiggle. You'll do the same thing with the neck. Place it into its holder into the case and store it there. The mouthpiece will usually have a slot in the case as well to keep it from getting damaged. It's an added protection. In this case, it actually has a holder that will protect your mouthpiece, give it additional protection. Your cork grease will go inside the slot in your saxophone and be ready for use on the next time you play. After your saxophone is securely in its place, you can take your polish cloth and one more time clean any fingerprints that you may have left while you were putting your saxophone away for protection reasons and to keep it like new. After you've finished polishing your saxophone, you can neatly store your polishing cloth inside your saxophone case with your cork grease or in another area of your case. It'll store there neatly and safe. Once again, I'm Gizmo Castaneda from D'Addario. You can find all these wonderful products that we covered in today's video at Sam Ash. Enjoy your saxophone.